see
today?
Sorry to bother ya.
Sorry to bother you, the consumer. Why'd you go see this movie? What even compelled you to see this?
I was looking at the movies that were out, and I didn't watch a trailer for it. I think that's the secret key to seeing a film and being surprised. And it had a good score online, and it was an independent film. It wasn't independent. It was just like
original.
So what does that mean? Who else? What was she?
They're like A24.
So it wasn't
level.
independent, but it was just like an original.
They do the lower scale movies that they hope that will do really well and win awards and make them a bunch of money.
And it wasn't Hotel Transylvania, and it wasn't Mission Impossible, and it wasn't any of the other 10 movies that we've already seen.
Yep.
And it had a decent. I read the beginning of the synopsis. That's when you say synopsis, but just the beginning, because that's what I watched.
So there you go. You really just told everyone how you came up with it.
I know. It was so interesting, and I'm glad that you made me do it, because they
Me too,
were snoozing.
Because then I saw the movie, and now we both saw the movie.
Everyone should see the movie.
They should, I guess, see it if they want to see it. But maybe you want to see Hotel Transylvania instead. I don't know.
You should not see that film unless you have children. And if you're seeing it without children, then something is wrong with you, my friend, because that looks awful. I hate cruises, and I hate Hotel Transylvania, so.
There you go.
There you go.
Everyone knows that.
And children.
There you go. Hotel Transylvania's full of children. And it's how the movie industry is trying to turn all these kids into vampires.
Right. Oh.
By getting them involved with Adam Sandler as Dracula.
I feel bad. I didn't know Adam Sandler was Dracula.
Yeah, he's the main character. He's making all the money. Don't worry.
No, yeah, I know he's making money. I used to really enjoy Adam Sandler, and then he did that dumb. Okay, off topic. Let's get back to it.
There we go. We did it. Sorry to bother you. Do you have any 5 words to describe this movie?
Creative.
Weird.
Ambitious.
Unique.
Curious.
Subtext.
Escalation.
Yep.
Wait, that was only 4, I think.
I know. My other word was yep.
Oh.
Because that's how you feel watching it.
And just original.
Random.
That's it. That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know. All those words sum up basically our thoughts of this movie.
But also, if that's not enough descriptors for you.
Yeah, I guess we can do a little spoiler-free thing, right?
Spoiler-free thing. Some sad poor lad lives in a bad neighborhood and has no money and has to get a job. So he becomes a telemarketer.
Yeah. That's it.
And then life ensues.
Yeah, that really is the thing. But it's I would say that not only that, it has that basic plot to it, but it also is a very like surrealist,
yes.
cartoony almost.
Yes.
Still live action, but like feels like a Spike Lee movie.
Oh.
Well, no, like not quite, but it's a little bit. But it's very close to like a old Spike Lee style, like a lot of the Vertigo shots, a lot of those weird effects. But then also has like Michel Gondry type moments where like like weird mechanisms open and turn into other things, and then help like transitions and scenes and stuff like that. So it has a bunch of cool elements to it, and it then turns into something entirely different than what you think it's going to.
And it really takes you on a ride.
It sure does.
So you might...
If you already saw it or don't care, we'll start spoiling it right now because we don't even give a dang.
Okay. Well, also, just really quick, before you just go in with an open mind.
Sure.
On what you're going to expect.
Well, if you're going to see this movie, I mean, you're probably one of these people anyway, because if you are going to see Mission Impossible 7 or whatever they're on, you're probably not just going to randomly go see this one.
Unless it's sold out and you just figured out that it was peak price and you're like, okay, what else can I watch? Not Hotel Transylvania. I guess I'll see this one.
Yeah, I think if you're going into this movie, you're probably down for, different types of
Down
movie
for whatever.
experiences. Yeah.
As they say.
Yes. They do say that, don't they?
Hi, everyone. I just want you to also know, before we begin, this shirt's from Forever 21.
Look, I'm a model now. Forever 21 paid me $150 to show this off.
In fact, I paid Forever 21.
That's right. They did not pay me.
No.
I just made that up.
No. So
yes, Forever
I just
21.
want everyone to know that I
Send
pick
me
out
some
what
shirts,
he
I
wears.
guess, but make the sleeves a little bigger because my arms are too big.
Okay.
Maybe
That's
because
too
I'm
much.
morbidly obese,
No,
or maybe
that's too much.
because I have
No,
muscles.
it
But
was-
guess what, Forever 21? Why don't you get your shit together and get
You
a
can't say
bigger
that about my
shirt?
job. You can't tell my job to get their shit together because that's me.
And Taylor learned the access code.
Up. No, you have that. Okay.
Taylor, figure it out. And
I'm not gonna, I know you're gonna cut all that out. So
I'm not cutting any of this.
Okay. Anyway, so done.
Spoiler. Sorry to
Spoiler.
bother you about something. Yeah.
Sorry to bother you about selling encyclopedias.
So, how this movie starts, it feels very much like a Spike Lee-esque movie. It feels very grounded from the beginning, and you're like, oh, okay, this is just going to be a fun little movie.
But it's
fun
very
little
relatable.
independent movie. Yeah, that's what they're going for. He's a dude that's not super ambitious in life, but he's trying, and he's trying to get a job and make ends meet and be a good fiance or whatever.
But he also has a lot of the existential woes that we have.
Yeah,
at
they
this
really
age.
shove that. They really that's one thing about this movie. They really let you know what they're thinking, what they're trying to get across. Everything that could easily just be subtle and played off smoothly is just rammed down your face.
Okay,
and in
but
your
it
eyeballs.
wasn't like
But it's fine.
in an
It's not-
annoying way of like
yeah.
teaching toddlers,
Right. No, it's for, they're not trying to make anything too heady. They're trying to tell a very exact, purposeful story. And that's what they do. So yeah, one of the very first scenes, he rolls around and starts talking about, "Do you ever think about dying, man?" It's like, okay, yeah, that's a way to introduce your characters, I guess. But that's that's the type of movie that they're going for. And old Tessa Thompson's in this, and I've seen her in about 158 movies so
She's
far this year.
Just in a trailer for a movie before this film.
She's getting paid. Good for her.
See her now and see her later.
Yeah, maybe her agent gave her a contract where she's obligated to just show up in movies, and she doesn't even get paid for them.
Maybe she's also part of MK Ultra.
Yeah, maybe she is. I could see that. Her character looks like she was in this. She has all these eye things on and different gems, like glued to her skin and what have you.
She's an artist.
Yeah, that's the thing. She's very artistic. But yeah, so it's set up. Tessa Thompson, other guy, not sure what his name is. Cash is his name in the movie.
Cassius Green.
And he, I think he's from Get Out, but I might be wrong. I think he's the sprinter guy in Get Out. But he has a beard and shit, so who knows? He could be
I
anyone.
feel like the sprinter guy in Get Out has a skinnier face.
Well, I can't tell because of the beard.
No, I'm saying, but like his actual jaw is skinnier.
Yeah, but you can't tell because of the beard, right?
No, I think I can tell.
Well, let's see if I'm wrong. We'll look it up later and we'll put a graphic on and say if I'm wrong. Ready? Anyway,
So
he's a good actor. I liked Cash
Okay.
and Tessa.
yes, so
I
they
liked them.
are in a relationship. He's feeling depressed because so when you first meet him, before you meet Tessa, he's in a job interview, and I
Yes.
loved the beginning
Yeah.
scene because it really introduces you to the character
Yeah.
because he has his trophies so you start off thinking he's like a really go-getter because he's holding this Employee of the Month trophy, but then it just turns out that he lied on his.
Yeah, he just counterfeited them and made
Yeah.
it seem as though he is, but he's ambitious and he's a
Yeah.
go-getter, so that's why he gets hired and as a
And he can
telemarketer.
read.
And he can read. Yeah, that was a funny joke. It starts off like strong and very like we just watched another movie that it sort of felt like Extract, which we might do later,
yeah.
but we'll see. But it felt like a Mike Judgy kind of like But that was how every movie sort of was back then. That's what I mean. It starts off and feels like, it's real life, real-ish characters and pretty straight-laced. And then it starts to change. After that, it gets a little more random. Like they start adding when he's the telemarketer. I thought it was a cool effect. Like it shows him like breaking in, like he calls the people, and then all of a sudden he like falls out of the ceiling and breaks through their wall, and now he's at his office, but he's also in the same room as them, and it shows how like uncomfortable it is to be a telemarketer and how shitty the job is,
and also to be literally inserted into someone else's life. How he has he has this conversation with this old woman who is mourning the loss of her husband, and Cassius Green is so he wants to make money, and he lives in a garage in his uncle's house, and they might get evicted. So the whole idea of this company is to stick to the script. It's stus, and this old woman just tells him that her husband has cancer, stage 4 cancer, and then he has to stick to the script. So you can see that he's making a conscious, and he does. So he's making a conscious effort to
be a company man,
to be a drone to the corporation.
And then from there, it starts getting even weirder and a little more heavy-handed, as I would kind of say. But it's it's still fun, but they really do hit you over the head a lot.
I think they wanted to have their fun with it.
Yeah.
I think they thought it was going to come off as more comedic.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think, because I think the story's great, and the script's great.
And the acting is great.
And the acting's great, and the shots look great, and the effects that they do, the practical kind of transitional stuff's really cool. The editing's not great with the cross dissolves and the Looney Tune circle transitions and things like that. But, people can miss those. I just noticed them because, like, those are the effects that you don't use for transitions. You just never actually use them. Those are like joke transitions, but they didn't play them up as jokes,
right?
Which is weird. But I think that's another thing. Like they could have even went further and more cartoony with it, and more surreal and wacky and all that stuff. At one point, the character gets hit in the head with a Coke can, and maybe if that happened like in the first act, it would have been fun to play off the idea that he was this normal straight-laced guy, and then he gets a brain injury, and then starts imagining all this crazy stuff that's happening and experiencing crazy stuff that happens to him. But that's not the case. They just throw it in there. But anyway, he's doing good at his job because Danny Glover tells him to be more white.
Throw it in there.
What do you mean?
They didn't just throw it in there. Ha ha ha. No, they didn't, because that was like, we're jumping the gun a little bit, but
I know. I'm just saying that was a thought I had. It would be funnier to introduce a brain injury to justify all the craziness that goes on.
I don't think they wanted to justify it.
I know they didn't, but I'm just saying it's a little random and just poorly executed at times because of how unearned everything is that they kind of do. Like there's no sort of rule structure to the game, right? It's all just like it gets very, very, very normal and very dramatic sometimes, but then and then another time it can just be off the wall wacky. But which is fine, but there's a better way to like execute that to make it more consistent feeling. But it's still good. I still enjoyed every moment in the story. It's just some things were fumbled a bit. But I do like it all.
I didn't notice that fumbling. Right. I liked it through. I think it was interesting and wacky, and it might have felt a touch longer than I maybe needed. Okay, but anyway, so...
Well, after the twist, it needs to actually be long because they should have probably moved up the twist stuff closer to the beginning. I know, but I'm just setting that up. I'm just giving you my thought. But tell me more about why you liked it so much.
No, I'm not talking about why I liked it. So he got this job at this place, and his girlfriend is a cool artist chick, and then the American dream happens, and someone suggests a strike. And then they want to fight for higher wages and healthcare and blah 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 blah. And that's when what's his name? Cassius becomes a power caller and sells out.
Sure does.
He sure does. And then he starts selling slaves.
Yeah, and that was a very interesting moment in the movie, like that, you kind of have a feeling that there's going to be some, because the whole subtext, since of everything, is that like obviously corporations and the power elites and everything are terrible, and they're keeping the lower class citizens down and not giving them a chance to rise up, and actually exploiting them to the point of like turning them into monsters later on, which is very interesting. I like that whole concept, but I just wish that maybe some of it was just handled slightly differently. But I like it all. He becomes the power caller, realizes that he's working for a corporation that literally is like, what's it called? Free life? Easy life?
Work free.
Work free?
Worry free.
Worry free.
Worry free.
And it's just being imprisoned. And that's it. And they slapped a new package on it. So it's an interesting idea that like in this alternate reality, because it's not even the future. Actually, it feels older. It feels like the script was written in like the early 2000s, because they have Oprah references. Oprah hasn't had a show. And
when was the Oprah reference?
It's when they show Armie Hammer for the first time. They're like, he did an exclusive interview on the Oprah show. And it's
I don't remember that.
Yeah. And I was like, wait a minute. When is the Oprah hasn't had a show in like 10 years, 15 years?
I mean, she has her own network, though, so...
Right. But they made it seem he was on the Oprah show, like talk show.
Right.
And doing like a Tom Cruise type sit-down interview thing.
Yeah.
And then they do an MTV Cribs reference. And I'm like,
no,
no one even knows who...
World.
No, when he's showing off his... in the, what's it called? Work free. I still can't even remember what it's called. Worry free.
Because I thought that's the real world house. Because it wasn't his cribs.
No, that was the place that they get to live. It was an ad for the Worry Free house, the cell that they live in. Oh my God. Well, the power went out, so all that was lost. Anyway.
All of it.
Anyway, I think Stranger Things is a good movie overall.
All of it. Are you being serious?
No. Anyway, sorry to bother you. It's an okay movie with interesting twist. Let's talk about the twist, I guess.
No, everything's fine.
Anyway.
No, is it, or do we have to go back and restart it?
No.
Okay, you had me nervous. So yeah, the twist is that after Cash Green gets the big promotion that he's been waiting for.
Power caller.
Power caller. So that's what all of us are waiting for. We're all trying to be the power caller of our own prison-like work environments.
Yep.
He finds out that Armie Hammer, shocker, Armie Hammer is the bad guy in this, but that was not a shocker. That was sarcastic. But anyway, he finds out that they are genetically engineering human horses, lose eating.
He sure is.
To be the new workforce. And not only that, Armie Hammer wants to create a whole new...
Equine sapiens.
Equisapiens. What does he want to do with those? What's the overall, not just to work in his place, but...
To work harder.
And
faster.
Why does he need Cassius to be a part of this equation?
So he can be Martin Luther King the horse.
Because Armie Hammer knows that the horses are going to rebel against their masters, and he wants to have Cash in there as a plant to lead them, be a little snitch at the same time.
Yeah, he's just really assuming a lot. It really takes a sharp turn when they find out that there's horse people, and that was definitely the most interesting part, I think, because the basic message throughout the movie is, we've seen it a million times before. It's like the man fight against the man, and the lower class is going to rise up and get what they want, and fight the man and all that fun stuff. But then you realize that the man's actually turning, people into horse people.
He also said this after doing a lot of cocaine, so Armie is not necessarily all with it.
No, he plays the rich, crazy white guy that is, just a heartless corporate dude that doesn't care about anything or anyone or killing people or turning people into horses to make calls.
Do you think our current government would turn people into horses if they could?
No.
You don't think so? You don't think they would have...
That's a lot of work, and I don't think they want to do a lot of work. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, that's what I'm just saying, though.
They
is
just
that
want
if
to
they
make
could make
money off of currently existing infrastructure, not adding anything new. And then making horse people is something way low on their list, I feel. They're just going to use machines to kill us all. And then the machines make more machines.
Yeah, but then that's like the same thing. That's what they were kind of going for, you know? Because they're going to create this new workforce. They just took it a step further because that's the kind of film they were going for. So instead of it being machines, they made horse people. And because everyone's like afraid that the machines are going to rise up. So it's like the same. I think that's kind of like
right.
The hidden meaning there.
I gotcha.
Instead of automation and AI and whatever, they're horse people. So it's like Westworld, but with horses.
There you go.
With really big dicks.
Yeah, I think that was the joke that they wanted to make. That's why they're horse people. It would make more sense if they were robots, but they wanted to play off of like weird racial stereotypes and things.
Also, it's just funny.
Yeah, it was played for comedic purpose for sure. But yeah, it's a weird choice. But overall, I thought that was like an interesting subplot and twist and all, and it was a creepy reveal, and you know, and of course at the very end we find that he actually snorted which is a weird way to deliver, you know, the catalyst to make you turn into a horse person, you know.
I mean, yeah, but it's also weird. You can't really like expect, like they're not gonna just do it. They need to find a way that like Cassius would take the drug unknowingly because he snorts the drug thinking that it's cocaine and he does it unknowingly, and then it's like a big shock at the end whenever he turns into a horse.
I figured they would just put in the champagne he's been drinking the whole time.
No, I think for Army, if this was like a real thing, it would be like more entertaining for Army to like feed him the drug,
right,
and then watch him do the video and then have the last laugh there.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said before, I think the story and script's all very interesting. I just think the direction was a little off. Because like everything could have been presented in a more compelling way. Yeah, just overall a little more compelling and paced better, I think, too. They could have paced it a little better. But overall, I did enjoy it a lot. It was a refreshing new type of movie. And it isn't Mission Impossible 7, and it isn't Transylvania House 4 or whatever.
I mean, but that's like a thing that you can say about, and I'm not like shitting on Sunye here, but that's a thing that you can kind of say about his other movies, like Murder Party. There were some things could have been expressed.
Well, yeah, and that's the first movie. But ever since Blue Ruin, he's
well, I think he's
a fantastic filmmaker. You can't deny that at all. This guy, you know, Boots Smith or what's his last name? Boots something. His first name's Boot.
Okay.
Boots Riley.
What about him? Who is he?
He's the director of this movie that we just watched. And I think he had a great...
Jeremy Sunye directed it.
No, that's Sorry to Bother You is directed by Boots Riley.
Oh, wait, what the fuck were we talking about?
You were talking about Green Room. And yeah, he's a great director, but Boot...
No, I thought we were talking about Green Room for a second. My head got all turned around when the electricity went off.
Wow. Anyway, yeah, this Boots dude is, it's a good idea, but, you know, the execution isn't amazing. But there's some fun stuff in there.
Did he make anything else ever?
I don't know. I've never seen anything that he's made or whatnot. I don't know who the guy is, but you're on your phone.
No, I'm looking up. I know.
I guess announce that you're not doing that.
I am on my phone, everyone. I'm looking up who this Boots was, but I can keep talking.
See, in the movie, you could throw that phone at old Tessa Thompson.
Yes, and
that
bullets
was weird.
and lamb blood or something.
Yeah, like that
just
whole
hardcore.
scene was just odd. right? Like it could have been played even funnier or even creepy. Like it could have been but it's right down the middle. It was sort of funny and so, but after a certain point, you're just like, all right, I get it. You're not doing anything with the scene. Like nothing's advancing in any way to make it more cinematic.
It was supposed to show you how like extreme and true to herself that Tessa Thompson is.
I get that.
And then Cassius is supposed to realize that he's not like welcome. It's not his scene anymore. Like that's not.
I get it, but that could have even been presented even more so with a slightly better, director. But overall, I do think it was a lot of fun.
Looking up the director, everyone.
Hurrah, hurrah.
I know, but it just says, no, it's just like the cast.
Oh, geez, internet.
Boots Riley.
That's what I said.
Right, I forgot why I was looking him up.
Okay.
I hate the internet.
Yep. Anyway, yeah. So, I think you should go see this movie if you just want to see a new, unique, and overall fun movie. Just the direction was a little more independent feeling, a little more like first movie kind of thing. I wonder what else they made.
Wow, listen to this guy.
Wow.
Raymond Lawrence Riley, stage name Boots Riley. This is from Wikipedia. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Wiki.
Is an American rapper, producer, screenwriter, film director, and communist activist.
There you go.
He's a lead vocalist of The Coop. Okay. Well, that's interesting. He probably hasn't made a film before, and this is his first one, so that's very ambitious of him. I like it.
Yeah, he's no amazing filmmaker, but it was a good idea and good execution, and there were some fun moments and some interesting moments, and I'd recommend you go out and see it.
I recommend that you see it, and I think that you shouldn't necessarily expect it to be a comedy, because there's not like a lot of moments where you're gonna be actually chuckling.
Yeah, I can see a lot of people not super down with it just because it's sold as like, this is gonna be a wacky movie about a telemarketer guy that finds his inner like white guy voice and is gonna do like, because David Cross does his white guy voice and Penn Oswald does the other, and so like, on paper and on the trailer it is like, oh wow, it's gonna be this wacky type of comedy, but then it's just very political, and I would imagine if you're sick of politics, you might not want to I'm
sick of politics as well, but that's why I get angry when politics creeps into like Jurassic World, because I go there not for politics, but like for this original film that I already didn't know anything about, it's okay if it's about politics because it's about like making horse people, so it's not even like that serious.
And
but Jurassic World did it, and it was like, oh, but the world is ending, and that's actually what's happening in the world. I don't think that any of this is actually going to happen in life, so it's like more interesting to see it as like an
so you
reality.
Don't think there'll be horse people?
No, but I do think that the current administration would turn us all into horses if it meant we would stop protesting and make more money for them. I do believe in that.
I don't know. Maybe more like slug people.
Okay, but
just take like those horse people were too powerful.
Yeah.
The whole end of the movie is that they go after their creator and like off screen kill him.
So like the whole throughout
that's just a bad creation. They're too strong.
Throughout a whole half of the film, there's a picket line, and they're called scabs, which are the power collars, and they cross the picket line and they get like armored guards and everything to go upstairs and go to work. And so you thought at the end all was lost because they didn't want to let the scabs through this time, and then everyone started getting like beat up by these, because like, what is it, hurting physical pain seems to be like more of a funny thing now in this reality than it is like a serious thing. Because they had that show. Yeah,
they did like a little. They tried
show?
To make the world like descend into like an idiocracy type world. That's another like Mike Judge kind of feel to it that I felt that instead of like the an idiocracy, they had all the TV shows and the all that, and this one's called like I'm getting this shit kicked out of me or something. It's like, okay, yeah, that's how dumb TV got. I get it, but not like the world is inconsistent in that way. Like, I wish there was more of people, because everyone else seems pretty normal and like current dimension normal, but then like there's this power elite that's turning people into horses, and then the media is about YouTube video, showing the guy getting hit in the head and how hilarious it is, and then the most popular show is people like just turned into human punching bags.
I could see that happening for sure.
I understand, but it wasn't reflected at all in the actual characters and the actual society. You'd see it on TVs, but it wasn't spilling into the world. Like the world of the telemarketers and stuff felt very normal. I wish that there was more like leaking of that world into like that this kind of trend is just started and it's like the crest of the wave type thing. Like I wish there was more people like acknowledging it and just being like, I can't believe you see this stuff on TV. This is crazy. And it's like, oh yeah, it's the most popular show. And it's like, to who? But I wish there was more like
They did
mixing.
do that.
No, not really.
They
no.
did. They had that scene at the bar where the old guy who taught him how to speak white, and they're like, "Man, can you believe this is what it is?" And he's like, "Yeah, I got the shirt."
Right,
so like they showed it.
But it wasn't like earned. Like what I would have liked was his like friend or something, like his two friends in it, that the two acquaintances that they have. Like I wish maybe it would have affected them, and it like we barely see Danny Glover's character. He's like a throwaway character, and none of that was earned of him being like, oh, look at my shirt, like that's just getting Danny Glover to, you paid him so much money, you have to like use him again. But like it just didn't seem like the whole world was on the same page as like this crazy corporate structure controlling everything, and like then the media dumbing people down. Like we didn't see enough dumb people. Like Idiocracy shows like everyone's so dumb when affected by this world.
Okay.
But and Danny Glover really wasn't affected by it.
No,
He just had a
I
T-shirt.
have an argument for that as well.
Okay, yeah, let's go. Because
Okay.
I missed it. It was this movie. I guess just went over my head.
I didn't think it went over your head. I think that we have two different opinions of it, and we're both trying to enforce those opinions. But what my point is that they did have a part that was really appropriate for the time, where his like friend was like, no, I think when people see bad things happen and they have no way of fixing it, they just like keep letting it happen. So like they just get used to it, because they did say that. So like that would be like everyone who, because I'm sure that they would make that kind of show. Like in Japan, they do all those weird shows. And if you saw that show, well, the UFC is on right now. So it would be just like, oh yeah, this is a show that's on. And then if it got past the FCC, which it probably wouldn't, but if it got past the FCC and a bunch of people accepted it from YouTube culture, then I'm sure we would all just get really desensitized to watching other people get beat up for money or airtime. So I don't see it necessarily being like the general public wasn't into it. I just think that it was kind of more normal then. I don't think it was like the first crest of the wave. I think it was just like, this is what they came out with a show and everyone's watching it, and now we use it to sell our. I mean, people eat hot wings online, right, and they hurt themselves.
Yeah, but that's like a creative, well done show.
I'm not saying that it's one way or the other. I'm just saying that if there's someone who wants to be on TV or wants to talk to a mass audience, then they'll do whatever.
I gotcha. Yeah, no, I just am putting on my own personal, like, I just think that it fell flat in a lot of ways, even though the story is really good. I just think it fell flat a ton of different ways, but I'm just putting on my own way that I would like to see it. I mean, obviously, that's not how it was made, but I'm just throwing out, what I would have wanted to see maybe a little more.
Okay.
Yep.
I get it. I understand.
Anyway, don't get turned into a horse.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Don't turn into a horse. Bye.